Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. This is the HomeGirl Tuesdays at 10, and I am so excited about today's topic because we are in tax time and we're also revving up for our springtime market. So, if you have been thinking about buying a home, using some of your tax money, go check out my last video that I made, and I posted about different ways you can use your income tax to buy a home. I also hinted on something you don't want to do with your tax money in preparation for home ownership. And I want to expound on that today and take it a bit further and talk about three things you don't want to do at all when you're getting ready to buy a home, or you're thinking about buying a home, or if you're in the process of buying a home. So if you're new to this segment, this is the Homegirl Tuesdays at 10, where I am helping you understand the importance of home ownership and the steps to get you there. My goal is to give you bite-sized, digestible, actionable items and takeaways to help you along your home buying journey. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. So if you have been thinking about buying a home, you may have spoken with the lender, you may not have spoken with the lender, but I want to give you three things to do or not to do, but I want you to do as far as like keeping yourself, do have boundaries, do have self-control to not do these things, and do have the mindset to do these things. But today we're talking about what not to do, but you still have to be fully vested in this process. So one of the things you don't want to do, and I'll just take it from the top, is buying a car. You do not want to go buy a car when you're trying to buy a home. So if buying a home is in your year goal, 9 months goal, 6 months goal, you don't want to go buy a car, even though it's tax time and you could use some of your money for a down payment. You still don't want to go buy a car and finance a car. I almost advise you to not even go pay cash for a car, because those are monies you can use for your down payment, closing costs, moving expenses. So even when it comes to financing a car, you don't want to do that, because that's going to increase your debt to income ratio. That's also going to increase the amount of debt that you have to pay back. So if you are unsure of what your debt to income ratio is, I made a video about that a couple of months ago, and I actually broke down what that looks like. So I advise you to go check it out. So yeah, you don't want to go buy a car, not cash, not finance, because the more debt you have, the less you're going to be approved for. So the goal is to be debt free. And that brings me to my second point of not using all of your credit cards. Like, don't max them out. So if you have loans, or if you have credit cards or a line of credits, keep those at a minimum. Okay. You don't want to go maxing out your credit lines, because again, the more debt you have, that's going to, affect your debt to income ratio, which can lessen your pre-approval amount. So we want to make sure that you're getting the maximum amount. Okay. Even if you don't shop at that maximum amount, we still want to make sure that you are in position to have that as an option, right? So we don't want to go maxing out credit cards. We want to keep our debt low. And on credit cards, point number 3, you do not want to open any new lines of credit. Do not open any new lines of credit. Do not open any new lines of credit. And that could be a car loan. That could be a furniture credit line of credit. That could be at the jewelry store. That could be at people, you shop somewhere and they're offering you credit to get 15% off your purchase. Like, no, don't open up any new lines of credit, because that's going to be a hit on your credit for one. And sometimes whenever you go to have your credit pulled, it can actually decrease your credit score. So we want to make sure that we're being responsible and we're saying no. We are saying no to the things that is going to hinder us. And we do have enough self-control. We do have enough discipline to say, you know what, I can wait on this. There is a thing called delayed gratification, y'all. there is a thing. I remember whenever I was buying this particular home, there were these pair of boots I wanted, and I wanted to take my children and travel and do all these things. But it took me 8 months, 7, 8 months to get prepared to buy this home. And during that time, I wasn't opening up. I was like scared to buy a cell phone. Like um, it was to the point where like the cell phone I had, it's kind of stopped working, the speaker on it, and I could only use my phone if I was in my car connected to my Bluetooth. But I was just so nervous to go and get another phone until I actually talked to someone at AT&T, and T, and they said, hey, you can do this without a credit pull. And so that was good. But there is a thing called delayed gratification. Back to the boots, I wanted those boots for that entire year that had just came out, but I said no, I'm going to save my money, I'm going to pay down my debt, because you do want to have your debt below 30% usage rate. That's why I don't advise you to open up any more credit, and I don't advise you to max out your credit lines that you already have, because you do want to be below that 30%. So I was paying down my debt. I was saving for my down payment, for my closing costs, and all of those things. So there is a thing called delayed gratification, because once I closed on this house, like 2 days after I closed on this house, I ordered my boots. So yeah, we have to have enough self-control and know that this is bigger than where I am right now. This is home ownership is going to set me up for where I'm going. So this has been the Homegirl Tuesdays at 10. And I do have my buyer's readiness assessment. I link it all the time because I want to make sure that if you are afraid to talk to a lender, or you haven't spoken with the lender, or you feel like you're not ready to speak with the lender, then you actually have a resource readily available for you that shows you where you are financially. It shows you where you are with your credit, and it will help you be prepared for home ownership, so that when you do talk to your lender or you talk to your realtor, you have a pretty good idea of where you stand. Okay, so make sure that you get it. It's only for $1, but it's going to help you prepare for home ownership and see where you stand. It's an assessment, and that's exactly what it is aimed to do, is to assess your credit and assess your finances. Okay, so this has been the Homegirl Tuesdays at 10, and I am so happy that you have stayed through the end of this video, because today we discussed 3 things to not do with your credit whenever you are preparing for home ownership. If y'all have any questions, let me know, and y'all have a great rest of your day.